Hey, good Monday evening, folks. Hope you guys are having a nice, cool one and all that good stuff. Here's the final reveal video to my AMT 125th Peterbilt 359 Coca Cola tractor. Oh, there she is in her glory. For the most part, she came out pretty well. Main issue that I had towards final assembly was actually something that's very common on this truck. The when I installed the cab and the sleeper, everything looked good, initially. And then when I went to go ahead and put the hood on, I seen that we weren't lining up. We were doing one of these, and it was bothering me. I said, no, that ain't gonna work. This is good enough though. This I can deal with. It's at least, close. I mean, it's flush. It's not sticking out to the left or the right. So what I ended up doing was the following morning, I pulled the cab and the sleeper off of the chassis, and the very bottom tabs of what they want to call cab mounts, I cut those off, and I tried to sand them as good as I could. And then what I did is I glued the cab with the hood in front to force it to straighten out and conform with the hood. And this is what I got. Good enough. I checked the back of the cab. It lined up nicely. It was sitting nice and lined up on top of that rear cab mount, that cross member. And I let the super glue dry, and I even put a heavy weight on top of it to make sure that it cured and everything, and it did fine. And then after I was satisfied with that, I went ahead and put the sleeper back on and made sure it was good and lined up. That's pretty darn good for this kit, so I'm happy with it. And then I went to go, and after that was done, I put the hood back on, and this is what I got. It's not completely hugging the cowl, but that's okay. It's good enough for me. For a kit this age, it'll work. At least everything looks good now. So that's what I did. I ended up cutting off the tab right there where it rests inside the bumper, because I thought maybe that would fix the problem, which it didn't. So I no longer have that, but that's okay. Like I said, this truck is going to be sitting up high on a shelf above my bedroom TV, so who the hell's going to even see it, really? So I'm satisfied with it. It's good enough for me. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, and naturally with an older AMT kit, I did fight a lot with final assembly. The exhaust collectors were giving me hell. The glue didn't want to conform, and yes, I did scrape my surfaces. The glue was just being a pain in the ass. It's hard to hold something in place for so long. Your arm gets tired. You guys all know it, that have built models. We've all been through the same things, same frustrations. So yeah, eventually everything locked in place, and I was able to get the smokestacks back on. Unfortunately, the left one, the pins that hold it onto the cab, they broke on me, so I had to re-glue it, and then I had to re-glue the bottom pipe here where it goes onto the collector. That was a nightmare, but it's all on. And then there's your air duct that goes to the sleeper from the rooftop unit. I never did touch that up on the AC there. I just decided to hell with it. It's on top of the roof, and it adds character, so it's not like this is a show truck at all, but it looks good for what it is. It took a while for me to figure out what tractor I wanted to use to pull the Coke trailer that I have, which I'll be building next. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? Let's do a Peterbilt 359. They're the legend. I mean, they're a lot of people's favorite truck, and I just figured you can't go wrong with a Peterbilt 359 pulling a Coke trailer. And I thought it would look good in the livery and the color, and of course we all know that's the truth. It looks really good. So yeah, now let's go ahead, and I wanted to explain something else. So the intake duct there that goes onto the roots blower, what I did to get it to fit better, because originally when I put it on, it was hanging off the front here, and I said, nah, that's not going to work. So what I ended up doing is I ended up sanding the other mating point where it goes on to the rubber connector for the air cleaner, and I just sanded it and kept sanding, and then I got it to where it would fit there, and I said, you know what, that's pretty damn good. That works for me. It's not, you know, mostly hanging off to the left or anything. It's as close to being on top and centered as possible. I could have probably went further and got it even better, but like I said, it looks a lot better than it did. The upper radiator hoses, they were a little bit of a challenge. I cut them on the tips, and then I kind of positioned them where they would meet onto the water jacket or whatever the hell that is that they go on. And when I got them in position and I liked where they were going, I let them set, and then I went ahead and re-glued the radiator back on. And as you can see, it's on there nice. I did even put the lower radiator hose on. It's not perfect, but I just let it fall into place a little bit and let the super glue just kind of do its thing. You can kind of see it there. It doesn't even look very good, but again, who's going to see it, you know? So yeah, that's the story. I'm trying to think if there was any other issues. Oh yeah, the mud flaps of course broke off, both of them, when I was taking the truck apart. So I got them glued back on, and they're all right. You know, they look all right. They look about what they would, you know, where they, from weight, they would hang down a little bit and bend, but they look good. Trying to think. Oh yeah, and then the funny thing is the bullhead, the Peterbilt bullhead emblem that goes on top of the grill, on Saturday when I was working on this thing, it fell off. So I put it over here with other chrome parts, the wiper blades and the mirror parts, and that's where I remembered leaving them too when I went to bed Saturday night. And I get up Sunday morning, I come out here, and they're gone. Both the bullhead there and the other wiper that broke on me. And I said, crap. I said that they must have blown onto the floor. I looked all over the floor, couldn't find them. And then finally, I never found them at all yesterday. And finally this afternoon, I happened to be looking in my waste basket, and I found the right wiper blade, and the right wiper arm. And I said, you know what? I said, that's one of the pieces that I was looking for. I said, I wonder if the bullhead is in here too. Maybe it got mixed up with plastic debris, and I didn't think anything of it and just threw it in the trash, and that's what happened. So I found both of them in there. So I got that done, and the passenger wiper is not perfect because it broke. Couldn't find the other piece. Wasn't even going to bother with it. So that's just the best that it's going to do. At least it's there. So yeah, other than that, it was a good project. I had fun with it like I did the previous 359. The previous 359 I did not have near, and I mean near, the problems that I had with this one. And this is the same exact truck. For instance, the cab mounts did not give me any issues. For some reason, it went together well, and I didn't have issues putting the sleeper on the first one I did. And I guess it's hit and miss. I guess some of these are just bad, you know. That's the only thing I could think of, is just some of these are bad. I think my frame might be off a little bit, but not terribly enough to notice. Kind of makes me think that because of how, if you look here where the bumper is, and you see the radiator, you can see where it's getting wider here and narrower here. So I guess it's I guess my frame might have a little bit of a tweak. I have actually seen where a lot of these earlier 359 kits, I hear a lot of people had troubles getting the frames to square up. I thought initially when I put the frame together that everything looked right, because I even tested the frame putting the ends on the table, you know, and making sure that it was straight and square, and it looked fine to me. My cross members looked like they were lined up right. So I may have a slight tweak to it, but as you can see, everything looks fine. It's not the best Peterbilt 359 build, but it's not by far the worst either, you know. You know, the mirrors are, of course, always a nightmare on these older trucks. Surprisingly, on this one, it wasn't too bad. I really didn't have much of a fuss with them. I didn't cuss much putting them on. It's just because they're small parts and multi-piece. You know, and with my larger hands, of course, you know, it's hard to hold parts. And yeah, it was mainly putting the mirrors onto the brackets. That was the worst of it. But putting the brackets on and the support bars and all wasn't actually that bad. So yeah, so for the most part, this kit, like I said, was fun, minus the final assembly issues I ran into. So yeah, she looks good. I'm happy with her. She's definitely going to be proud to display on the shelf. So now I'm looking forward to getting the trailer built so that I can put it on the back. So yeah, there's the cab. You can see the those kick panels, or whatever the hell those things are. Yeah, oh, it all looks good, guys. My first Coke semi, and I had fun with it. So yep, that looks just like a 67 through 72 359. One last thing I wanted to note was what I ended up doing with the grill was I just took a brush and I just colored it all in and left it. I might do a little cleanup on it, but it looks good. So I'm happy with it. So yep, that would pretty much do it for the Pete 359. So you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy this video, and you know, getting to see this thing finalized and all done. And of course, next will be the slideshow video. So you guys enjoy this video, and we'll see you on the next one.